Okay. Okay, let's start with who you are.
My name is Lani Singh.
Where are you from?
I'm from Thailand slash Burma, but I mainly grew up in Thailand. In which case, I would be a refugee, but I am an immigrant because I moved to the United States to seek a better life.
How old were you when you immigrated to the U.S.?
I would have been 6, but me, my family accidentally took a detour to China, so we had to take another detour to the United States. In this case, I was 7 when I moved to the United States, so I've been living here for 10 years.
Why did your family come to the U.S.?
Well, my family and I came to the US to seek a better life, but more importantly, because we were struggling at the time, both economically and emotionally. Because like we just recently lost a family member, and feel like we would have a better way of living and not suffer as much diseases. Because like we used to live in the jungle area of Thailand, which did have prone to diseases and such, which is why we moved to the United States.
Okay. Do you remember your Do you remember what your family went through, or do you remember any struggle migrating to the U.S.?
Well, the only struggle we did have was trying to speak English, because like we all only knew Karen because that was our main language. As we are a subgroup of ethnicity of Thai people, which are called Karen slash Karenni, but we come from the Karen direct.
Um, how was the process? How was the immigrating system process?
Well, it was kind of hard because like it didn't take that long, but it was more over like we weren't used to this area, and like we were scared. We didn't know what to do, and we just had to trust our caretakers, because like the immigration system is not really that great. It is kind of just all over the place, right? And it feels very rushed.
Can you go more into that?
You see, me and my mother and my father at the time were in the process of moving to states, but we didn't know which state. But the officers there, they didn't really help us as to say, because like we could barely understand them, and even the translator, they tried their best, but like it was still hard to understand because we didn't know any customs or cultures or any of that stuff. So it was really hard just trying to see where we wanted to live, and like we didn't have that much help, and we were just trying to inch our way closer and closer until one of us finally understood English.
Who understood English first?
It would have been my older brother, because he was a first generation college graduate, and then following my older sister.
Um, did you struggle to adjust to the American society when you migrated?
No, because I at the time was a child per se, because I was only 7, so in a way and in a sense, I did not even know my culture that much. And to this day, I am a fourth generation, so I still struggle to this day with reconnecting to my ethnicity, because I feel like I've been whitewashed, or in a sense, colonized, in the sense that I know more about American culture than my own culture.
Does that make you feel like, do you ever get imposter syndrome because of that?
No, because like I feel like I'm more with Americans than my own race. Yes, I am a dual citizen of Thailand and Burma, but I feel as if I'm technically not even them, which is a textbook case of imposter syndrome. But I don't feel as if it affects me that much as it does other people, because it's just the fact that I never knew what Thailand was like because I wasn't raised there. Since I was raised by the American dreams and ideologies of such.
Did your parents ever just do they ever make comments on?
No, you see, they much rather me live out as an Americanized Asian than reconnecting with my heritage. Even though I do have some heritage heirlooms that I've been given.
Why is that?
Because we escaped in a time where it was very dark for the country. So like, I think they have some sort of, let's just say, trauma to make sorts, but I don't really know because I never really dug deep into it.
Could you possibly try to dig deep into why you guys
No.
migrated here?
Well, I think the main reason was just that
Or,
fin-
sorry, what was happening in your country
uh I do believe we had like small conflicts of fights and breakouts of like gang fights. So as to say, we kind of moved away because we didn't feel safe, and now I feel like we feel more safe.
cool. What are some of the things you struggle with as an immigrant and refugee that other immigrants and refugees can possibly relate to?
Uh, w- our parents relying on us to like help them live a better life as all their life they've lived in Asia or like any other country that isn't used to this American lifestyle. I feel like we are put on a pedestal, right? A pressure of sorts that we have to help them because we are the next generation and like will be continue living in the United States. And as such, I feel like that's a main issue because like there's so much stress and like build up that other people don't see that kids and teens alike will struggle with and eventually develop depression because of sorts. And like the systems in place that helps us aren't really that great as the financial gain isn't that helpful to us. Like we have to work multiple jobs to even stay afloat.
Do you think immigrants and refugees in Aurora, Colorado are receiving enough assistance?
No. Well, yes, since I wish I could help, but like, as I said, I'm a fourth generation with barely any knowledge of my own language, as I was never taught it, and even when I was taught it, I feel like I just couldn't understand it because the dialects were so weird, and that English was just a much easier terminology and like language to underuse, and so I've had job offerings for helping immigrants migrate to the United States easier, but I just feel like I failed them because I can't speak the language of sorts.
Okay. Do you can you think of any ways that anyone who isn't an immigrant could? Can you think of any ways that someone who isn't an immigrant can help immigrants and refugees?
Well, the best way that they can help them is honestly by teaching them English because English is by far the most vital step. Once you understand English, everything will fall naturally into pieces, which what I think is more important because yes, they do need to understand, you do need to understand their natural language, but if there's a medium between the two, if they can somewhat understand you, then you've already helped them more than enough because that means they can communicate with others about their problems. And you can give them financial aid by going to nonprofit organizations who donate to immigration services.
Do you have anything else you want to say in the camera?
No, well, I just want to say something. If you have like an immigrant or refugee friend, I want you to reach out to them and talk to them about like their heritage and what they think about it. Because like I don't speak for others, but for myself and my family, we rarely talk about our heritage unless it's like a special day of the month. Because like we do still celebrate it as I am Buddhist, but I don't feel like I am in the typical sense Buddhist because like I don't feel like I connect to the religion as my mother or older brother do, since I've just been like I feel like I've just been whitewashed, and I want people who have immigrant or refugee friends to just like ask them about it.
Would you like me to ask you about it more?
No, I think well I think you have asked me about it, but like I can't really say much because like I myself know that I don't want to learn about my culture more as such because I feel like I'm more into the American culture than my own culture because like I feel like as a whole I feel like I'm more American because that's what I identify as. That's my nationality and I'm proud to be an American.
Cool. That concludes my questions.
So I stop it.
Yep.